You know that feeling when your legs aren't quite as sturdy as they used to be? When stairs seem to have gained a few extra steps overnight, maybe? And pushing yourself up from your favorite spot takes, well, a noticeable bit more oof.
Yeah, absolutely. So many people experience that.
And it's easy to just kind of chalk it up to just getting older.
Right, that's the default assumption, isn't it?
But let's consider this. For many of us over 50, that dip in strength, it isn't solely about the years passing. It might very well be connected to something vital missing from our daily meals.
That's a really key point to consider. We often, we tend to see these changes as just inevitable, part of aging.
Yeah.
But the reality is that our body's nutritional needs, they shift as we get older. And those subtle losses in strength can often be a signal, like a little warning light, that we're not quite getting what we need.
And today we're diving deep into this very issue. We're going to uncover a collection of powerful natural foods, all backed by solid science, that can genuinely help you regain strength and rebuild muscle, particularly in those areas that matter most for staying active, your legs and your core.
Absolutely critical areas.
So if you're already noticing those little signs of muscle decline, or maybe if you're simply looking to proactively maintain your independence and vitality for years to come,
Yeah.
well, this discussion is definitely for you.
Absolutely. Our goal today is to cut through any confusion and really get down to the essential nutritional strategies, the ones that can make a real difference in how well you maintain and even rebuild your muscle strength as you age.
Okay.
And we're drawing on scientific research, focusing on readily accessible foods, giving you practical knowledge to truly take charge of your muscle health.
Fantastic. Practical is key.
Yeah.
So let's get straight to it then. What's this silent threat that might be contributing to those shaky knees and making everyday movements a bit more challenging?
Well, what's fascinating, or maybe a bit insidious, is how gradually this happens for most people. Muscle loss isn't usually an overnight event.
Right, creeps up on you.
Exactly. Typically, we start losing muscle mass around age 30.
30, wow.
Yeah, maybe at a rate of about 3 to 8% per decade. Seems small, right?
Doesn't sound like much initially.
But this tends to accelerate once we reach our 60s. And by the time we're in our 70s, this muscle deterioration can become quite significant. It can really start impacting our ability to manage everyday tasks.
Right, and that's when those small things start feeling like big hurdles. Struggling with stairs, needing to use your arms to get out of a chair. Is there a specific term for this gradual muscle loss?
Yes, absolutely. That collection of symptoms often points to a condition called sarcopenia.
Sarcopenia, okay.
It's essentially the age-related loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. But, and this is the crucial thing to understand, while aging does play a role, sarcopenia isn't just an unavoidable consequence.
Okay, so it's not destiny.
Not at all. We have more influence over it than many realize, and our diet is a really powerful tool in pushing back against it.
Okay, so if it's not all downhill after 50, what are some of the key nutritional elements, the things that can help us keep our muscles strong and healthy?
Well, right at the top of the list is protein, especially protein sources that provide a good amount of a specific amino acid called leucine.
Leucine, okay.
Think of proteins as the building blocks for your muscles, right? And leucine is like the key formant on the construction site. It really kicks off the repair and growth process.
Gotcha. Building blocks and the formant, where do we find those?
You can find them in lean meats, eggs, dairy, and even soy-based foods. And a good target to aim for, this is quite practical, is around 25 to 30 grams of protein with each meal.
Per meal, not just total for the day.
Right. Spreading it out seems to be more effective than just, say, having one huge protein-heavy meal. Aim for that 25-30 grams at breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That's a helpful specific target. Makes sense. What else should we be focusing on nutrition?
Okay, next up, omega-3 fatty acids, found in foods like salmon, walnuts, flax seeds. These are incredibly beneficial.
Why omega-3s for muscles? I usually think heart health.
They're great for the heart, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they also help to reduce inflammation throughout the body. And this is important for muscle health because chronic inflammation can actually contribute to muscle breakdown and hinder recovery.
Okay. Inflammation fighters. What else?
Vitamin D. Another nutrient we really need to pay attention to. It's essential for proper muscle contraction and for maintaining good balance.
Balance is huge, especially as we get older.
It really is, and unfortunately, low vitamin D levels are quite common, particularly in older adults. And they've been clearly linked to increased muscle weakness and, importantly, a higher risk of falls.
Okay, protein, omega-3s, vitamin D. Got it. We hear a lot about the Mediterranean diet being beneficial for overall health. does it have a role to play in muscle health too?
Absolutely. It connects perfectly. If we look at the bigger picture, research has consistently shown that the Mediterranean diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, olive oil, fish, it isn't just good for your heart. It's also strongly associated with better mobility, greater muscle strength, and a lower overall likelihood of developing that sarcopenia we talked about.
So the main takeaway here is that while we might naturally experience some muscle loss as we age, it doesn't have to be a drastic decline.
Right.
We can fight back.
Exactly. That's the empowering part. By consciously including nutrient-rich foods in our diet, we can actively work to protect and even rebuild our muscles.
Okay, it's not just abstract. These are real choices we can make.
Precisely. Making smart food choices on a daily basis can really empower you to stay active, maintain your balance, and continue to enjoy the activities you love, all on your own terms.
All right, let's get into the specifics then. This is what people want to know. What are some of the top foods that our listeners over 50 should be prioritizing in their diets to actively rebuild muscle? Let's start with something you called the muscle bean chickpeas.
Yes, chickpeas, or garbanzo beans, whatever you call them. They are truly an underappreciated champion when it comes to muscle health.
Okay, tell me more.
They offer a simple, natural, and importantly, affordable way to support muscle strength without needing to rely on expensive supplements.
Good point.
In just 100 grams of cooked chickpeas, that's maybe, half a cup, you get a significant 8 to 9 grams of high-quality plant-based protein, which, as we've established, is the fundamental building block for muscle repair and growth.
8 to 9 grams and half a cup? That's pretty good for a plant source.
It really is. And it's not just about the protein quantity, is it?
No, there's more to it.
That's right. What's particularly interesting is the broader nutritional profile. Chickpeas are a good source of magnesium.
Magnesium, right, for cramps sometimes.
It helps with muscle contraction and relaxation, and also energy production. But perhaps most importantly, they contain a notable amount of that amino acid we mentioned earlier, leucine.
Ah, leucine again, the foreman.
Exactly, around 0.84 grams per 100 grams. Now, leucine is that key amino acid that essentially flips the switch on a process called the MTO pathway.
MTOR. Sounds technical.
It is a bit, but think of it as your body's main signal to start building new muscle tissue. So chickpeas aren't just helping you prevent muscle loss, they're actively encouraging your body to build more muscle.
That's really fascinating about the leucine in chickpeas acting like a trigger. Powerful little bean.
Yeah.
And they have other benefits too, don't they?
They do indeed. Chickpeas are a good source of iron.
Iron for energy, right.
Crucial for carrying oxygen throughout your bloodstream. This translates directly to better endurance, reduced fatigue, and more sustained energy levels throughout your day. Plus, they're packed with fiber.
Good for digestion.
Exactly. And helps keep blood sugar levels stable too, which is another plus.
You mentioned a quick tip earlier about iron absorption from plant sources.
Yes, good catch. Because the iron in chickpeas is non-high iron, meaning it comes from a plant source, not animal, it's really beneficial to pair it with foods rich in vitamin C. A simple squeeze of lemon juice over your chickpeas, or eating them with bell peppers or tomatoes. That vitamin C can significantly boost how much of that iron your body can actually absorb or use. Plus, it adds a nice zesty flavor.
Simple enough.
Yeah.
So, as a practical tip, how often should someone aim to include chickpeas in their diet to see these muscle-related benefits?
Aiming for around 150 grams of cooked chickpeas, that's roughly 1 cup, about 3 to 4 times per week. That's a great starting point.
Okay, 150 grams, 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah, it's a relatively small dietary adjustment that can really contribute to stronger muscles, better recovery, and more consistent energy levels.
Okay, muscle bean noted. Adding chickpeas to the shopping list. What's next on our list of muscle-building champions? You've described green peas as being more than just a side dish. Tell us why they deserve more attention.
Absolutely. Green peas often get overlooked, don't they? Just a simple accompaniment.
Yeah, kind of boring sometimes.
Maybe, but they really deserve much more recognition, especially when we're talking about muscle repair for older adults. One of their key benefits comes from another amino acid called lysine.
Lysine, okay, another building block.
A crucial one, yes. Lysine plays a vital role in the rebuilding and repair of muscle tissue. And this becomes increasingly important as we age because our natural muscle recovery processes tend to slow down a bit. So green peas can really help support that recovery.
So lysine helps our muscles bounce back more effectively after activity.
Precisely. And similar to chickpeas, green peas also contain some leucine.
The foreman again.
He keeps showing up. It activates that MTOR pathway, the body's signal for muscle growth, Now, the levels might not be as high as in some animal proteins, but for a plant-based option, they really do offer a significant contribution.
Good to know they have that too. And what about the iron content in peas? You mentioned it's that non-heme type again.
Yes, peas contain non-heme iron, which, like with chickpeas, isn't absorbed as readily as the heme iron found in animal products.
So same trick applies. Vitamin C.
Exactly. Pairing them with vitamin C-rich foods is key. Squeeze some lemon juice over them, maybe add some feta cheese, which often has bell peppers mixed in, or simply serve them alongside some topped red bell peppers. It makes a difference.
You also mentioned something quite interesting about peas compounds called saponins. What are those?
Oh yes, saponins. These are natural plant compounds found in green peas. And what's really intriguing is their potential health benefits.
Okay.
Studies suggest they have anti-inflammatory properties and can help reduce oxidative stress in the body.
Oxidative stress.
Like
Cell damage.
Sort of, yeah. Damage from unstable molecules. Reducing it is incredibly beneficial for muscle health because it can help ease muscle soreness and support faster recovery after physical activity, or even just minor strains from everyday life.
That's a great point, especially for those who might experience more aches and pains as they get older. Do you have any practical suggestions for getting more green peas in beyond just boiling them as a side?
Definitely. One simple and I think quite delicious way is to blend cooked peas with maybe some almonds or pine nuts, a drizzle of olive oil, a squeeze of lemon, and a pinch of salt.
Like a pea pesto.
Exactly, or just a savory spread. It's delicious on toast, crackers, or even as a dip for raw vegetables. It's an easy way to get the nutritional benefits without feeling like you're just forcing down a pile of plain peas.
Brilliant idea. I like that. Okay, moving on to something a bit more exotic sounding, spirulina, often called the space-age superfood. What makes this blue-green algae so beneficial for our muscles?
Spirulina has certainly earned its superfood status, especially for muscle health. It's an exceptionally concentrated source of plant-based protein.
How concentrated?
Get this, up to 70% of its dry weight can be pure protein.
70%, wow.
And what's remarkable is that this protein is considered complete, meaning it contains all the essential amino acids that your body needs but cannot produce on its own. These are absolutely vital for building and maintaining muscle mass.
So it covers all the bases, amino acid-wise.
It does. This makes it a fantastic option, particularly for individuals who might be reducing their intake of red meat or dairy products, or just looking for plant-based power.
So it's a real powerhouse of protein. What other muscle-supporting benefits does it offer?
Well, beyond its impressive protein content, spirulina is also rich in magnesium.
Magnesium, again, for relaxation and recovery.
Exactly. Essential for helping muscles relax properly and for speeding up recovery after physical activity. It's also a good source of iron.
Iron for energy seems to be a theme.
A crucial one, helping transport oxygen throughout the body. This combination of protein, magnesium, and iron can really contribute to feeling more energetic and capable in your daily life.
You also mentioned a unique pigment. The thing that gives spirulina its color has special properties.
Yes, that distinctive blue-green hue comes from a pigment called phycocyanin.
Phycocyanin.
Okay, but it's more than just a colorant. Phycocyanin is a potent antioxidant.
Like the saponins in peas.
Similar function, yes. It helps to reduce inflammation, protect your cells from damage, that oxidative stress we mentioned, and seems to accelerate recovery after physical activity, whether that's a brisk walk, a more intense workout, or simply a long day on your feet. Think of antioxidants, like tiny defenders for your cells, cleaning up the mess.
That sounds like a great aid for muscle recovery. What's a simple way for people to actually use spirulina? It often comes as a powder, right?
It does, usually a dark green powder, and it's actually quite versatile. The easiest way for most people is probably to mix about 3 to 5 grams, that's roughly a teaspoon, into a smoothie.
What does it taste like?
It has a unique taste, a bit earthy or seaweed-like. Blending it masks it quite well. It tends to go well with things like coconut water, maybe a squeeze of lemon juice, and berries or a banana.
Okay, smoothie it is.
It's easily digestible that way and can provide a significant post-exercise boost to help your muscles recover and rebuild. If you're new to spirulina, adding it to a smoothie is a great way to start experiencing its benefits for strength, energy, and recovery.
Okay, from a space-age superfood to something we see in almost every kitchen parsley. You've called it the muscle-healing herb you're probably ignoring. Why is that? It's usually just a garnish.
Exactly. Parsley often gets relegated to just sitting pretty on the side of our plates, but it's actually a bit of a hidden gem when it comes to supporting aging muscles.
How so?
It contains a powerful natural compound called apigenin.
Apigenin. Never heard of it
it's a type of flavonoid. And scientific studies have indicated that apigenin can help lower inflammation in muscles. It might even aid in repairing the tiny micro tears that can occur in muscle fibers after physical activity.
Micro tears, like from exercise.
Yeah, or even just from exertion. So this apigenin can lead to faster recovery, whether it's after a walk, a light workout, or just a day where your legs are feeling a bit tired and achy.
So it's like a natural recovery aid that's often right there on our plate without us realizing it. That's cool.
Exactly. And the benefits don't stop there. Parsley is incredibly rich in vitamin K.
Vitamin K. I thought that was for blood clotting.
It is crucial for that, but it's also absolutely vital for maintaining strong bones. Just 1 cup of fresh parsley can provide well over 800% of your daily vitamin K needs.
800%.
That's huge. And strong bones are the foundation for good mobility, helping to protect against fractures, which is obviously a significant concern as we get older. Good bones support healthy muscle function too.
Wow, that's a surprising amount of vitamin K.
Yeah.
Does parsley offer any other muscle-related benefits?
Yes, it does. Parsley also provides a decent amount of iron, about 3.7 milligrams per cup.
Iron, yeah.
Yep. Vital for helping your blood carry oxygen, which leads to better energy levels, improved focus, and greater endurance even as we age. So it's contributing to overall vitality, which indirectly supports muscle health too.
So how can we move beyond just using parsley as a sprinkle? How can we actually incorporate more of it into our diets for these benefits?
It's surprisingly easy. You can definitely blend it into your smoothies. It goes great with spinach and lemon for a really refreshing and anti-inflammatory boost.
Okay, add it to the spirulina smoothie maybe.
Could do. Another simple way is to make a herbal tea. Just steep fresh parsley, stems and all, in hot water for a few minutes. Strain and drink. It's a gentle yet effective way to potentially aid muscle recovery. So next time you see parsley, remember it's more than just decoration. It's a potent natural aid for your muscles and bones.
That's a great way to reframe how we think about common herbs. Okay, next up, chives, the unsuspected hero of muscle recovery. I have to admit, like parsley, I don't often associate chives with muscle health. What's the connection there?
You're definitely not alone in that. Chives, often used as a simple way to add a mild oniony flavor to dishes, actually pack a surprising punch when it comes to supporting muscle recovery.
Really? Chives?
Yeah. They belong to the same family as garlic and onions, the allium family, and offer their own unique set of benefits, particularly for older adults looking to maintain strength and recover well.
What are the key nutrients in chive that make them so beneficial for muscle recovery?
Chives are rich in 3 key nutrients that our bodies often need more of as we age. Vitamin K.
Vitamin K again for bones.
Exactly. Vitamin C.
Immune system, right.
Yes, but vitamin C goes beyond just boosting your immune system. It also helps protect your muscles from oxidative stress, which we know contributes to age-related fatigue and weakness.
Okay, so C is an antioxidant too. And the third nutrient?
The third one is a powerful antioxidant called quercetin.
Quercetin. Heard of that one, I think? Maybe in onions?
Yes, it's prominent in onions too, and apples, berries. Quercetin is really interesting. Studies have shown it can help reduce muscle soreness and speed up the recovery process after physical activity.
Okay, so that connects directly to muscle comfort.
Right, so if you find yourself waking up feeling a bit stiff after maybe a gentle walk the day before, or experiencing some soreness after some light gardening, this unassuming herb might be a valuable ally in helping your muscles recover more quickly and comfortably.
That's really good to know, especially for those everyday aches and pains that can sometimes slow us down. What are some easy ways to incorporate more chives into our meals, besides just sprinkling on baked potatoes?
Yeah, beyond the potato. There are a couple of simple and tasty ways. You can snip fresh chives and blend them into your smoothies. They actually pair surprisingly well with avocado and plain yogurt for a creamy, savory, and refreshing drink that aids muscle recovery.
Chives in a smoothie. Interesting.
Give it a try. Another option is to chop chives and steep them gently in olive oil. Don't overheat it. This creates an infused oil that you can then drizzle over salads, roasted vegetables, or even fish.
Oh, nice. Flavored oil.
Exactly. It not only adds a delicious, subtle oniony flavor, but also provides healthy fats and those extra antioxidants like quercetin to support your muscles. So yeah, chives are more than just a garnish. They're a subtle yet effective way to support your bones, your immune system, and your muscle strength and recovery.
Okay, we've talked about some surprising plant-based powerhouses. Let's move on to more traditionally recognized muscle-building foods. Lean proteins like chicken, turkey, and white fish. Why are these so fundamentally important? We know protein is key, but what makes these specific sources good?
These lean protein sources are absolutely fundamental. They directly impact how your muscles feel day to day and how efficiently they can recover after any kind of activity, big or small.
Okay.
They are generally low in fat, which is often desirable, but crucially, they are rich in what we call complete proteins.
Meaning they have all the essential amino acids.
Exactly. All 9 of them, including that key player we keep mentioning, leucine.
Our foreman, leucine,
Well,
he's everywhere.
He's critical. Remember, leucine acts like the signal that tells your body it's time to start repairing and rebuilding muscle tissue. These lean meats are packed with it.
Can you give us a practical example? Like,
Mhm.
how much protein and leucine are we talking about in a typical serving?
Absolutely. Let's take chicken breast, a common one. Just 100 grams, which is about 3.5 ounces, of cooked chicken breast provides approximately 32 grams of high-quality protein.
32 grams. It's a lot.
It is, and it provides around 2.5 grams of leucine. That's a really significant muscle-building boost in a single, relatively small serving. Similar amounts in turkey breast and many types of white fish like cod or halibut.
Okay, so they really deliver on the protein and leucine front. What's a general guideline for how much total protein someone over 60 should be aiming for daily to maintain their muscle mass and strength?
The general recommendation from many expert groups for adults over 60 who are looking to maintain or even build muscle mass and strength is to aim for somewhere between 1.2 to maybe even 2.0 or 2.2 grams of protein for every kilogram of their body weight per day.
Okay, 1.2 to 2.2 grams per kilogram. That's higher than the standard RDA for younger adults, isn't it?
It is, yes. The understanding is growing that older adults often need more protein to stimulate muscle protein synthesis effectively. And importantly, remember what we said earlier, it's more effective to spread your protein intake throughout the day.
Right, 25-30 grams per meal, roughly.
Exactly. Having a some at breakfast, some at lunch, and some at dinner, rather than trying to consume it all in one go, this allows your body to utilize it more efficiently for muscle repair and building. Consistent supply is better.
That makes a lot of sense, providing your body with consistent fuel throughout the day. You also mentioned earlier that pairing these lean proteins with certain types of vegetables can be beneficial. Not for protein absorption, but something else.
Yes, that's right. To take it a step further and really maximize your recovery, try pairing your lean protein sources with vegetables that are rich in vitamin C.
Like bell peppers, broccoli.
Exactly. Bell peppers, broccoli, kale, citrus fruits too. While vitamin C doesn't directly aid in the absorption of protein, it plays a vital role in boosting the production of collagen in your body.
Collagen. For skin and joints.
Yes, but it's also a crucial protein for the health and repair of your tendons and even the connective tissues within your muscles. So more vitamin C can lead to faster recovery of the whole musculoskeletal system and improved overall mobility. It's about supporting the structure around the muscle too.
That's a great synergy to keep in mind when planning meals. Chicken and broccoli, fish with lemon and peppers. Makes sense. Now let's talk about something maybe a little less obvious in the muscle building conversation, Parmesan cheese. You've called it a food with small bite, big benefits. What makes it so special in this context?
Real Parmigiano Reggiano, specifically the authentic stuff, offers some really surprising benefits for muscle health, especially considering we typically consume it in relatively small amounts.
Okay, like sprinkled on pasta or salad.
Right. But just 1 ounce, which is around 28-30 grams, provides nearly 400 milligrams of calcium.
400 milligrams. That's a fair chunk of the daily need, isn't it?
It is. It's a significant contribution towards your daily calcium needs in a relatively small portion.
We usually think of calcium as being primarily for bone health, though. How does it play a role in our muscles directly?
Calcium is absolutely critical, fundamentally critical for proper muscle contractions, and also for the transmission of nerve signals to your muscles.
Ah, so it's needed for the muscle to actually work.
Precisely. Without sufficient calcium, your muscles simply won't be able to contract and relax as effectively as they should. And what's particularly beneficial about Parmesan is that the calcium it contains seems to be highly bioavailable.
Meaning our body can absorb and use it easily.
Exactly. Your body can absorb and utilize it quite easily, potentially more efficiently than the calcium found in some other food sources or supplements.
That's good to know about the absorbability.
Mm-hmm.
And it offers more than just a good dose of calcium, right? I remember seeing protein on the label.
Absolutely. Parmesan also packs a surprising amount of protein. It provides around 10 to 11 grams of protein per ounce.
Wow, in just 1 ounce. That's quite protein dense.
It really is. So that contributes nicely to your overall daily protein intake, which, as we've been hammering home, is so important for maintaining and rebuilding muscle mass, especially as we get older.
Okay.
And here's a little bonus that many people don't realize. Due to its long aging process, real Parmesan cheese is naturally very low in lactose.
Oh, really? So people with lactose sensitivity might tolerate it better.
Often, yes. It can make it easier to digest for individuals who have some degree of lactose sensitivity, unlike many fresh cheeses.
That's a really helpful tip. Are there any things we should be mindful of when it comes to Parmesan cheese? A downside?
The main thing to be aware of is its salt content. It is quite high in sodium.
Right.
However, because Parmesan has such a rich and intense flavor, you typically only need to use a small amount, a sprinkle, a grating, to get its flavor and nutritional benefits. This helps to keep your overall sodium intake in check. So a little goes a long way in supporting your muscles without significantly overloading you with sodium.
Moderation is key, as always. Okay, and finally, let's discuss some key vitamins and where we can find them. You've highlighted vitamin D powerhouses like salmon, tuna, and eggs. We touched on vitamin D earlier, but why are these specific foods so important for maintaining healthy muscles?
Vitamin D, as we said, is often primarily associated with bone health, but it plays an equally crucial role in maintaining strong and responsive muscles, particularly as we age. It seems to have a direct impact on muscle function, strength, and even muscle protein synthesis to some extent.
Okay, direct impact. Where do we get it from food easily?
Good dietary sources of vitamin D include fatty fish like salmon, that's a real winner. Canned tuna, especially the type packed in oil, retains more vitamin D. And the yolks of eggs.
Just the yolks.
Primarily the yolks, yes. The white is mostly protein. Just a 3-ounce serving of cooked salmon can provide a really significant amount of vitamin D, often in the range of, say, 400 to 600 IU, sometimes more depending on the type.
Okay.
Canned tuna in oil is also a reliable source, and a single whole egg yolk contains a notable amount as well, maybe around 40 IU historically, but some fortified eggs have much more now, upwards of 200 IU per yolk.
What's the general recommendation for daily vitamin D intake for adults over the age of 50? How much should we be aiming for?
For adults over 50, the general recommendation, often cited, is typically between 800 to 1,000 IU international units per day. This level aims to support both good bone density and optimal muscle strength and function. Some experts might even suggest higher levels depending on individual factors like location and sun exposure.
Right, sunlight is a factor too.
It is, but relying solely on sun can be tricky, especially in certain climates or seasons, or with concerns about skin cancer. So diet and sometimes supplements become important. And a really crucial point to remember with vitamin D from food or supplements, it's a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning it's absorbed much more effectively by your body when you consume it along with some healthy fats. So the next time you're having salmon or eggs, try adding a drizzle of olive oil, or including some avocado in your meal, or cooking the eggs in a little butter or oil.
Ah, okay, so fat helps get the vitamin D in.
Exactly. It's a small addition that can significantly improve how your body is able to utilize this essential nutrient. Don't fear healthy fats when eating vitamin D-rich foods.
That's a really important practical tip about pairing vitamin D with healthy fats. And lastly, let's just circle back quickly to omega-3 fatty acids, especially those found in salmon. You've called them a powerful natural tool against muscle loss. We mentioned inflammation, but how exactly do they work to protect our muscles?
Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly the long-chain ones, EPA and DHA, which are abundant in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, they are indeed powerful allies in the fight against age-related muscle loss or sarcopenia.
Beyond heart health.
Way beyond. They work at a cellular level to help reduce chronic, low-grade inflammation within your muscles and also improve blood flow to them. Both of these factors become increasingly important as we age, and our body's natural repair and maintenance processes can become less efficient.
So how exactly do omega-3s help to reduce that inflammation in our muscles? What's the mechanism?
Well, it's complex, but essentially, omega-3s help your body produce certain signaling molecules called prostaglandins and resolvins. These act like tiny messengers that help to calm down inflammation and improve circulation within your muscle tissues.
Okay, calming messengers.
Right. And better blood flow means that your muscles receive a greater supply of oxygen and essential nutrients, which in turn supports better repair processes after use, reduces breakdown, and ultimately contributes to greater overall muscle strength and resilience over time.
And how much salmon do we typically need to be eating to experience these beneficial effects on our muscles? Is it a lot?
The good news is that you likely don't need to consume huge amounts. Aiming for around 2 servings of fatty fish like salmon per week